Good afternoon and welcome everyone to Getting Personal with Parkinson's, our weekly conversation series on Facebook. I'm Caroline Collis and I'm the Senior Director of Health and Wellness for the Marlene Meyerson JCC Manhattan and the Program Coordinator for the Edmund J. Safra Parkinson's Wellness Program, supported by New York's largest healthcare provider, Northwell Health. For over 12 plus years, the JCC has been hosting programs for individuals living with PD. You can find these programs on our website at www.mmjccm.org/Parkinsons. Please see the link below in the comments section and pass it along. For those of you joining us for the first time, I am so glad you're here. Welcome. We'll speak with experts on this series who will share updates and research, and maybe even a celebrity or two will stop by. But really, this program is for anyone whose life has been impacted by PD and those diagnosed, as well as family and friends. You're going to meet people living with Parkinson's. We wanted this conversation to help put a face to those living with Parkinson's and to introduce you to amazing people that are living and thriving with PD. I'm excited to introduce you to a dear friend, Linda Rose Iennaco. Linda received her advanced fitness and personal training certifications from Marymount Manhattan College, where she was then invited to join the faculty to teach something called functional anatomy, as well as how to teach adult fitness. So she is a teacher of teachers. She has been sharing her expertise here at the Marlene Meyerson JCC Manhattan for over 14 years. She teaches our chair exercise for Parkinson's programs, as well as programs in our health and wellness department, including something called Balance and Bones, Exercise with Ease, and she also lectures for us as well. She's a member of the National Osteoporosis Foundation's Ambassador Leadership Council, and this vivacious educator is also a former Broadway hoofer, tap dancing her way on Broadway in shows like No No Nanette, Irene, Bubbling Brown Sugar, and Mac and Mabel. She is the creator of Tap Aerobics. I spoke to her earlier and we recorded our conversation, which I'd like to share with you now.
Linda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, dear Caroline, and thank you for inviting me to join this conversation. It always makes me happy when I can share my passion about moving well so that we can all be happy and have a good life.
Yeah, I know. And I'm so thrilled you're here. You've been an integral part of our Parkinson's program for well over 10 years. Tell me about what drew you to teaching people who are living with Parkinson's.
I was fortunate. A colleague referred me to a client, and this gentleman had Parkinson's. So I did what I do. I did some research, best practices for this particular challenge. I looked up symptoms, protocols, prognosis, medication. I sent him an intake form so that he could tell me even more about himself. Because when you design a plan for somebody's well-being, they may think there's only one issue, but very often the orthotic that they've been prescribed that they're not wearing, that I don't know anything about unless he tells me, it's going to alter how we're working. Sure. Are the glasses, hearing aids, all of those things I need to do in order to design the program. Jack wanted to stay integrated in society and he wanted to continue to paint. I needed to know all of that.
Wow. And you teach chair exercise for us in our Parkinson's program. What are the important aspects of chair exercise for PD? What do you want your students to learn or experience from your class?
Well, the most important thing, and it's the most important thing for all of us, we have to keep moving. And then we need to keep moving. And we need to keep moving with purpose, with full range of motion. Very often sitting in the chair, asking somebody to bring us this and bring us that, change the television. We need to do the work ourselves. There's that old cliche, still very relevant, use it or lose it. And it's true. If you're not reaching fully, you won't be able to. The body does what it's asked to do. What I want the students to learn in class is I want them to experience joy, satisfaction, confidence. I want them to lose fear. I want them to know that we need to move everything. We need to work from head to toe. We know that some of the symptoms, one in particular in Parkinson's, is masking, lack of facial expression. And so we know that maybe we appear to people to be disinterested, or maybe we're sad. Well, we don't want that to take over our lives. So we start at the top and we do eye stretching. Maybe you'd like to join me with that. And we squint and we wiggle our noses because we use them for pointing and drawing circles with a full range of motion. We smile, we grimace, we do jaw jutting. That is our only synovial joint. We have to keep that moving so we can chew and swallow. We also go deep into the belly, not just for support, but because maybe we have some food that's caught or some phlegm. We have to use belly thrusts in order to get that up. If we don't use it, we won't be able to use it. It's like anything else. We deal with posture, strength training, endurance, mobility, flexibility. That's what we get from class.
Our grandmothers and our mothers were right, weren't they, when they said stand up and sit up straight, right? It's so practical, but is that what you mean by setting yourself up for success and the activities of daily living? That if we're strong when we sit and stand, that we'll be able to do those things with greater ease?
Yes, definitely yes. We need to set ourselves or sit ourselves up for success. Even when we're lying down, we need to be in order. We need to make a plan. First things first, and then we have to practice. We need to know, where is our head? Where are our shoulders? We need to have our body in order so that our organs are working correctly. If we're all scrunched over to one side, we're stretching muscles here, crushing our lungs, the heart isn't centered. When you have an air conditioner and it's not aligned correctly, it clunks. It doesn't cool correctly. So we need to do better for ourselves so that we can work comfortably in life.
I don't think people realize that when you're over to one side, or if you're slumping down, that affects your organs. And yet when we think about it, if we just roll our shoulders back and open our chest, we can even breathe better, right?
Did everybody just do that with Caroline? You need to roll your shoulders back. You need to press down with your shoulder blades. That stabilizes you. And if you do that, you're going to eliminate this because you're working to keep yourself upright. Thank you, Caroline. In keeping with posture and alignment and good order and sitting up for success, let us not waste any time while we're all sitting here together. Let's try some verbal cues that you can then translate into physical cues. I'm going to my chair. Before I sit down, I want you to notice I've kind of hugged the chair. Now I don't have to twist my body and my knees. I know where that chair is. I know I'm safe. I've also put my feet under my hip joints. We don't want to stand like this. It's very hard to shift weight to walk. So you want your feet right underneath your hip joints. Now I'm going to be symmetrical. My ears are over my shoulders. My shoulder blades are down. I'm going to pull my hips, protecting my knees. I'm going to reach for the chair, and I'm going to sit in it. Maybe later, if we have time, we'll show a demonstration how the caregiver can help the client to get in and out of the chair without hurting the client and not hurting themselves. But right now, in order for us to stabilize and set ourselves up for success, I hope we're all sitting in a straight back chair, but we'll do the best we can if we're not. I'm moving my arms to the side and pressing. My hips are already to the back of the chair. I'm pressing my waistline into the chair, thinking of the belly button going up my back. I'm pressing the lower part of my rib cage into the chair, and most importantly, I'm pressing my shoulder blades, the scapula. If by chance I was sitting here like this and I used that cue, I would know I wasn't centered. And so many of us do side lean, not good for all of our organs and our breathing. So I'm going to set myself up for success. I'm going to bring my ears over my shoulders. I'm in perfect alignment. I can use my arms to do whatever I need to do, and I know I'm just fine. Right now, one other cue to make sure that our shoulder blades are stabilized, but you bend at the elbow. You know that you can reach to the shoulders, you can reach on the table, and you didn't disturb your alignment, you're still centered. And as you start to drift, you say, oh, shoulder blades don't feel stable in the chair, I'm going to align them. And from here, now that you know that you're stable, you can lean from where you need to lean from, not round the back. Strengthen the back muscles so that we can do computer, we can eat, we can brush teeth, and we're in perfect alignment. I'm going to get up now correctly, because we always have to practice correct, so we set ourselves up for success. I just worked my hips, my pelvis. Those are balance muscles. It's hard to do. To protect myself even further when I get up, I'm going to hold on to the chair so I can help my knees. I'm going to get my weight over my flat feet, and I'm going to shift my weight onto my flat feet, not my heels, and then I'm going to stand up. Let me show you what this looks like from the side, just in case you missed something. Notice my shoulder blades are down when I move the chair. None of this, right? Okay, so briefly, my legs are touching the chair. My feet right underneath my hip joints. I'm going to pull my hips to the back so I can get my hips to the back of the chair, using my hands so that I know I land safely. And then all the cues that we did for stabilization, I think you saw that. I'm going to get up correctly. Leaning forward. Right now, I have my hands on my thighs to help. I can get up this way. But if you can't, then you need to hold the chair. Get your weight on your flat feet and stand up. Finish getting up before you move, okay? Safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. That was great. In your classes, especially when we were in person, you encouraged caregivers not only to be in the room, but to actually participate in the class. Why is that so important to you? What will those living with PD and what will the caregivers gain by sharing an experience of working out together?
The caregivers are an integral part of the family, whether they're actual family members or hired or part of the medical team. Everybody has to work in concert for the well-being of everybody. Everything we do in class is about appropriate postural alignment. We all get to work correctly, knowing how the joints work. They extend, they flex, they externally rotate. We can see each other doing it. So right now, in a class, the caregiver is watching the correction for the client and says, when we're at home, I know we have to work on that. The caregiver is also feeling what it feels like when I don't move correctly, when I do move correctly. So that team is a team, an even better functioning team.
I think that's wonderful. And what a great idea. And to be able to work out together and also get the benefit themselves, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's really wonderful. Now, I understand that you have some students here with us today.
And I would like to introduce them right now so they can join our conversation. Are you ready? Is your hair all right? Okay, this is Pat Vega, thank you, and Nolleen Payne. That's Payne, P-A-Y-N-E, not in pain, Payne. Okay, Pat has been participating in our classes since the beginning of the program, is what I understand, and she has enjoyed many of the programs. She has been in our Dear Caroline's NIA, worked with Whitney, yoga, Bill Connington with the Alexander technique. And then even though I keep trying to say Coach Jody, when I was practicing, I was saying Judge Judy, but it's Coach Jody. So right now, in class with me, Nolleen and Pat, we're working on Zoom effectively, but we're also working one-on-one. Pat had some concerns, and a lot had to do with that shoulder stabilization, posture, and movement. And so that's what we're working on together.
Pat and Nolleen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat, I think you were a founding member of our Parkinson's program at the JCC.
Absolutely. Day one.
Yeah. Would you mind telling us about your experience with Parkinson's, when you received your diagnosis, and what activities or techniques you've been using to help manage your Parkinson's?
I first had symptoms at the end of 2001, and I didn't get my diagnosis until about 2004. But when I heard about this program at the JCC, I joined, and plus I was getting physical therapy.
And you tried Nia, and you were in the Pilates class, and you did Tai Chi, and you even named the Bold Moves walking exercise class. You named the team.
Yes, that's right. Right.
Tell me a little bit about your experience working with Linda. What have you learned, and how has this benefited you? I know that you're pushing back in the chair a little bit to help. That sensation sometimes helps you with your dyskinesia. So what else have you learned from Linda?
How important the littlest thing as far as posture is concerned. Because, I had this pain in my arm here, and I thought it was especially after I received my vaccination, I was convinced there was something really wrong with this arm. And they scanned and scanned and scanned this. They said there's nothing in there but muscle. Here's a little tiny tumor. It's just muscle. So that made me think, oh, it's dystonia. Like somewhere I'm holding myself. So she's been working with me to reduce this tension here. It's amazing that a little bit of tension, I can feel it right now, will, if you have Parkinson's, you feel it all day long.
Well, I love what you're saying. Essentially, what you're saying is little things matter, right? Little ways, little micro movements, whether it's pressing back into the chair or how you're holding yourself, matter. And that's what Linda is teaching you. And Nolleen, as a caregiver, what have you learned from participating with Pat in her work with Linda? And how has it helped you in caring for Pat?
Well, thanks for having me here. And
it's great to have you.
And giving me the privilege to speak. I was with Pat from 2017, about 8 years. Yes, about 4 years now I'm with her. She encouraged me to join her in the cheers class whenever the session arise. We used to attend at that time at the GCC. Was able to grasp a lot of techniques that were being shared by Linda. She's a wonderful person, I must say, and very patient. For myself, and even for Pat, getting up, I used to just ups and get up. But she showed us the right way in order to keep your posture by leaning forward, putting your weight on your flat feet, and then getting up. And I found that helped me a great lot. It also helped Pat. There was so much also that she was able to share with us that I was able to benefit from in her day-to-day movement and moving her around and getting her up and about. And that, I appreciate it so much, and it benefited me so much in my actual working with a patient that has Parkinson's disease. All the techniques that I have learned, it helped me so much.
I wanted to say that Linda is, she's a nice combination of like strict and funny, and she's got a great sense of humor.
I know. Yeah. But she's got that dance background, right? And
right. The authority. Right. Kind of like
she's an effective taskmaster to make sure that you stay on track, which is really important when you're doing something like posture. It really we can easily slip into a different posture, not even realize it. So I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen Linda in action. I've had the joy and benefit of teaching with her, and it's pretty remarkable to see how. Yeah. Well, Linda, are you blushing? We're talking about you. And I'm wondering if you'd be willing to take us through a bit of your work that you do in your classes. And maybe even if Pat and Nolleen would join us, that would be amazing. Are you guys up for that?
Sure.
It better be. We practice. Oh, no. Yes, I am certainly up for it. I thought you'd never ask. We're going to use, I'm going back to my chair, and I hope, Caroline, you'll move with us, of course, and I hope everybody who's watching will move with us. Again, I'm picking up the chair, keeping my shoulder blades stable. We don't want to get hurt. I'm lining my legs up with the chair so I don't have to twist because we don't want to hurt ourselves. And I'm sitting to the back, and we're going to work with our shoulder blades pressed into the chair. Caroline is showing us her profile. Yes, watch Caroline too. We're going to do some isolations. We don't use our torso enough. So I'm going to ask you to open your arms to the side. I know we all checked our environment so we don't get caught on anything. And our shoulder blades are down. Find where your shoulder blades are. Are they touching the chair? Are you stabilizing them, and are you level? Good. Lean forward from your hips so your back is no longer touching the chair. Okay, this is tug of war. Somebody's got you by the right wrist and they pull you to the side. So we're not tilting. So if we're pulling to the right, press your left hip down. Come center. Go the other way. Go center. So we're in a level way going side to side. These are our balance muscles. We're enjoying a stretch in our belly and our back and down the sides. Now we're not going to stop at center. You have to shift your weight more quickly with your hips. Side to side, side to side. Oh, Pat and Nolleen, this is good. And I think Caroline is good, but she's on her side, so I can't really tell. But I trust everything is perfect. Okay, ears over your shoulders. Let your arms float down. And now, because constipation is very often part of our dilemma, we want to open up our intestinal area. So, of course, we had water, right? Of course. Bring your ears over your shoulders. Stabilize your shoulder blades because you know where they belong. We're no longer pressing them. We're going to draw a circle with our torso. Not right now, I'm doing my shoulders. But we're not doing that. We're only going to do the torso. And you'll feel your balance muscles helping you to do this. Stay centered in the chair. Okay, round and around. So if you can see yourself or feel yourself, you know you're not passing the side of the chair. You're safe, but you're working your intestines. Doesn't that feel good? But of course, if you went one way, you have to go the other way. Round and around and around we go. Doesn't that feel grand? Yes, lovely. So let's see if our shoulders are what we wanted them to be. Stable. Move yourself to the back. Are you centered? Wonderful. If time permits, I would like to show how Nolleen can help Pat to arise, both of them in good order without hurting themselves or each other. However,
Sure.
Pat is sitting on her chair, far enough front in the chair, with her legs separated and her toes under her knees, so she's got some leverage. And she's going to brace her shoulder blades and bring her ears back over her shoulders. She's going to put her arms where they've been whenever we've been exercising, right by her sides, right angle here at the elbow, and palms are up. Nolleen is standing directly in front of Pat, and her legs are also separated. Her hands are down. They are forearm to forearm. Pat, look at Nolleen, please. And then you're going to rock forward, and Nolleen will straighten her knees, and you will stand up. Nobody got hurt. Nobody pulled on an arm. Nobody fell. That was terrific. Would you like to return Pat to the chair? Or are we up to the part where we tap dance? Okay, that was great. Thank you. That was beautiful. How did it feel?
Well done, everyone.
I'm just afraid I'll bump her nose.
No nose bumping. Not allowed.
They did that this morning, but we removed that.
Oh,
Thank you very, very much.
Well, let me ask you, that was just wonderful. And I think that a lot of people, whether they're visiting and they have somebody who lives or is living with Parkinson's, they're not quite sure how to help. And that's such a simple way to help both somebody stand up and oneself without getting hurt. I love that. Let me ask all of you, we'll go around the room. If there's one thing you'd like to leave our audience with, whether they are someone living with PD or a caregiver, what would you like them to know about? Pat, do you want to start?
I think the gift of Parkinson's has been to be in the moment. I have to be paying attention at all times in order not to fall, in order to keep my balance. So I have to be aware of my physical environment and and keep moving.
Yeah, keep moving. That's beautiful. And Nolleen, what about you?
Well, I would like to encourage other caregivers to get involved in the activities with their patients because it gives them a sense of bonding and also knowing more how to take care of your patients. And the more you take that interest in taking care of your patient will last longer and you will belong in a job.
Yeah. Well, and also, my father always used to say the first rule of parenting is the parent must survive. And I think the first rule of caregiving is that we have to do it in a way that we take care of ourselves. And you guys model that so well and so beautifully. And I thank you, Linda, for even thinking of that, bringing that to our program. Linda, any last minute thoughts that you would like to share with the audience?
One is, thank you, Caroline, for what you do for us and for this program. There is none like you, and we all appreciate and love you, so thank you. And then my second thought is, there are 4 categories that I address every day to keep me well, and I think we all need to. I will tell you what they are. It is hydrating. We need to have water. We need to fuel, have food, moderation and variety. We need to move with purpose, and we need to rest. So it's hydrate, fuel, move, rest.
Beautiful. You guys, thank you so much for your participation today. I've learned so much. I loved that side to side motion where I had to press down on the opposite side. I was like, wait a minute, I'm really thinking about this. It made me very, very aware of my internal balance and my strength. So I so appreciate that. And of course, it's always a joy to spend time with you, Linda. And Pat, so good to see you. And Nolleen, lovely to meet you.
Wow, what an inspiring conversation. You can see why Linda is a dear friend and colleague, and we've been working together for so many years. She just really reminds us all to take good care of ourselves, which is the point of our program, right? How can we take care of you and also of one another at the same time? I hope you found this conversation as inspiring as I did, and I thank you so much for joining us today. We'll put information in the comments section about how to join Linda's class. I strongly encourage you to do so. She's a pistol. She's a force to be reckoned with, and she will get you in shape and keep you there. If you'd like to sign up for her class or any of our Living with Parkinson's programs at the Marlene Meyerson JCC Manhattan, please see the links in the comments below. You do need to fill out an intake form. It's short. Anyone can do it. It's not a big deal. And remember, please, that the Edmund J. Safra Wellness Programs at the Marlene Meyerson JCC Manhattan are here for you. They're easy to sign up for. It's a great community. You do not have to go it alone. Come join us, okay? And if you want to come on the show, or if you have a suggestion of a topic we should cover, please email Whitney Chapman. wchapman@mmjccm.org is her email, and she loves to hear from you. You can also put a comment in the comment section and she will pick that up as well. Next week, we have an exciting show. We're going to be meeting with occupational therapist Samantha Levine, who will be talking to us about LSVT Big. It's about amplitude, making your movements big and why that's important. We're going to be bringing that program to the JCC in the fall. It'll be in partnership with the Friedberg JCC, and we're really excited about that. And she's going to actually lead us through one of the exercises. She's going to talk to us about the program. So please tune in, everyone. Thank you for joining me. And take care of yourselves, be well, and we'll see you next week.